So how does that work, Yogani? When they go to your website, there's a list of places that they can check out. There's lessons on the left-hand side, and then on the top there are different places that they can go within the website, and support forums is one of them.
That's right, and the support forums is really a vast area of the website where there's over 20 different categories of practice and experience where people are interacting on their experiences and going back and forth between the lessons and the forums and helping each other. And also there's our sections in there for discussing other systems of practice and how some of those areas where there might be a gap that needs to be filled in, it's fine to explore those in those categories of the forums. And so it's a pretty wide open field and very respectful, I might add. Online forums, I think in general, have a reputation of being sort of wild and woolly and sometimes not too polite. And that is not the case here. These forums are very carefully moderated by a team of over 20 people who are in the background, and we just don't allow the sort of nastiness that can happen in some of the forums that are not moderated.
Now, is it like a chat line where you can type in your question and it gets answered? Do you have to go back and find the answer later?
We haven't done any live chat to date. It's basically like a bulletin board where you can put up your question and read everybody's answers or read everybody else's questions and answers, and you can search, and it's vast. I think there's about 20,000 pages in there of stuff.
My goodness!
It's a huge knowledge base. And if it weren't for the lessons, which are considerably much better organized, I think it could be confusing. And in fact, I wouldn't recommend that beginners go straight into the forums and look to that as the place to get instruction.
Yes, because they could jump all over the place.
Yeah, the place to get instruction is from the lessons or from the books. And then when questions come up, or if you want to look at different aspects of any part of it, you can go in the forums and find discussions on just about anything.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, some people come into the forums thinking that, this is where I'm going to learn all this stuff, and I don't have to read anything else from the lessons, and that's really an invitation for confusion.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people there with a lot of different opinions, and if you can't bounce what people are saying off of something base, a foundation of some sort, which the lessons are, you really have no way to judge, what's resonating and what isn't.
Yes. Is there anything that you think we haven't covered? I'm sure there's a lot about meditation that we should talk about today. Well,
I think we should point out that it is a process of purification and opening that goes on with time. And as I mentioned, that's why regularity in practice is important. And gradually over time, the symptoms can change. There will be more of a rise of inner silence. And there will be times when purification can be too much. And that's when we get into something we call self-pacing. So, for example, if someone is very sensitive to meditation, which happens on rare occasions, but it does happen, it may be that person shouldn't be meditating for 20 minutes. Maybe they should be meditating for 15 or even 10. So it's important to look at how you feel during the day after you meditate. And if it's good, it's good. And if you're feeling irritable or roughness, the first thing to look at is making sure you take enough rest before you get up from your meditation session, at least a few minutes. And if that's not solving it, then you may need to pace back your time of meditation a little bit.
I guess, because we think that when we're meditating we're resting, but actually we're going through quite profound purification.
Definitely, and if you get up too fast at the end of a meditation, it can lead to irritability because the process of unwinding hasn't had a chance to complete itself during your rest period. And so then it's going on in your daily life, and it can make you crabby. It can cause headache, that kind of thing. So it's important to rest at the end of meditation. And like I said, if the rest isn't, if there's irritability or some roughness in activity, and the rest isn't taking care of it, then think about backing off a little bit on the time. Everybody has to find their own balance.
Yes, yes. And any questions, they can always go to the aypsite.org and get those questions answered. With my practice, I've been finding I'm in a lovely, relaxed space with my meditation, and then all of a sudden I realize that my hands are clenched. And then I breathe and release them and go back to my mantra again. And then I'll realize that my right hip is tight. And I don't even realize it's gone into that state until I realize that I'm tight again, and then I release again.
Yeah, that's some purification going on.
Uh-huh.
You know, and when it's gone for that session, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. These are just stresses and strains that are stored in your nervous system way deep that aren't necessarily getting released in your normal daily cycle of sleeping and exercise and whatever you're doing.
Yes.
And the meditation goes down deeper, and then these things can come out.
Mm-hmm.
And now some people feel that all these things that are coming out have to be analyzed.
No.
You know, it's okay to do that afterwards. But if you do it during the meditation, you've just sabotaged your meditation.
Yes.
So I would recommend to save your analysis for after the meditation session.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time for that.
Yeah, I have a question that I think is quite interesting, which is when we have something we're going to work on, say like a new project, and we'll have ideas that will flow through. And that's the other thing I haven't mentioned to you, is that my creativity has gone nuts. In my waking, in my non-meditating state, I'm in my everyday life, and the ideas that are coming through as far as things that I like to get involved in creatively has really exponentially opened up.
Well, that's because inner silence is the source of all creativity.
Yeah.
I mean, every artist knows that, right?
Yes.
That when you're still and relaxed, that's when the creativity comes. Well, with meditation, you're cultivating permanent relaxation in your at the deepest level of your mind and your heart and your body, and so creativity will happen.
Yes.
That's one word we use a lot in the instructions: increasing peace, creativity, and love
absolutely.
in life. Be careful not to let your creativity run you ragged. Sometimes it's good to self-pace a little bit on that too.
Yes, and I think that's kind of where I'm moving into now, is the self-pacing, because the doors have opened. They are flooding me with these incredible creative ideas, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't keep up with all of these ideas.
I know. Well, you really have to just sort of take it one step at a time, because seriously, it can become a hazard, because it can get to the point where you're working so hard by ideas that you don't have time to meditate anymore, and that's a problem.
That is a problem. Okay, so the
that's
question.
Wonderful. It sounds like you're having wonderful experiences.
Yes, I am. I really am, and actually, I think I'm enjoying it more, because I know that if anything comes up, I have you guys to help me with it, and I've got hands-on help, and that makes me feel comfortable, relaxed, and I just have a sense of security there for some reason. It's different.
Well, nobody needs to feel alone.
No.
When they're, no matter what path you're on. I mean, we have people coming in from all over asking questions that they didn't feel they could get answered.
Yes, and sometimes just a little niggly thing that just gets in the way, and once you get it answered, poof, it's gone.